Alright, crowd, here we are now. Our top 10. Let's do this. It's going to be our top 10 of 2018. Which ones are we looking forward to? Not the ones that we are going to hate, like, love, because we don't know, we haven't seen them unless you're some guy from the future.
Based on the trailers, that's all we get.
Based on
Judge
the
them by
trailers.
the trailers. That's it.
That's
Bare
it.
ass minimum.
Unless it's
unless it's a sequel, then it's like, oh shit, yeah, like I'm ready to look for that one.
Yeah, exactly. I saw one today that's called Ocean's 8 trailer with Sandra Bullock.
I almost saw that trailer, but something told me, like, I was like, oh, Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13, like, I really like those movies. I don't know why I didn't watch it, just simply because it reminded me of that. But I
didn't know that it's the same stuff, right?
Well, yeah, but I didn't watch it because I was like, it's probably a knockoff or something.
This guy doesn't know that that's actually not a knockoff, but it's the same director. George Clooney will be in that movie because he knows that girl. Mm-hmm. So technically, it's in the same universe. Oh my God, another cinematic universe movie. Wow.
Easter egg.
Pixar did it first.
You saw it here first.
Pixar did it. No, actually, wait up. Who did it first? What was the first cinematic universe before anything else happened? With all this stupid
Spawn.
MCU.
You saw it in Spawn first.
Anyways, here we go. You want to start it off or should I?
Alright, I'm going to start it off with my number 10. Now, to me, it wasn't going to be in any particular order, but I think I should somewhat put that into consideration. So for my 10, the one that I'm looking forward to, the 10th, I'm going to have to say it's going to be 1517 to Paris. I hope I get that right. 1517 to Paris. Now, the only reason why I think I look forward to that, because one, it was based on a true story, which I really like based on true story movies. And two, it's like, there's movies about, I don't want to, obviously I can't spoil it. There's a trailer, you guys can go watch it. But they're in a train, and it's like, some of these things are things that can happen in real life. And it's like, that's kind of one of my biggest fears, is like there's guns in the plane, or in the train, sorry, in the train. So it's like, can this really happen to anyone, like to us? Like, obviously it was based on a true story, so it did happen. So it's like, I want to see more into this. Like, I want to be in the world, what happened.
I did see the trailer, and if anything, if I were to look into it, but I know that I'm not going to see it in theaters, it's because of Clint Eastwood. He's directing this movie.
And I did consider that too. I was going to bring it up.
We were just having this conversation on a party on Saturday that myself, that I'm a movie guy. I know I don't do movie reviews, but I love movies. I do tend to look at directors. A lot of people don't see that, but for me, directors, if they have a consistency of doing good movies, it usually will be a good movie. And of course, this one is directed by Clint Eastwood. The guy is top notch.
Yep.
And it's his top 10. My top 10 is The Moral Engines. Very vague, the trailer. You just know that it's an apocalyptic world, like always. And then London is in a freaking...
It's like in a moving...
I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that too.
It's like a moving island.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like machinery and all that.
Yeah.
Now, the big thing about it is that Peter Jackson is producing this movie. Peter Jackson, the guy who brought us Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, will be producing. He also produced District 9, which helped a new director named Neil Blomkamp become a badass director.
District 9 was really good.
So by Peter Jackson doing this with this new director is putting a big hand, and of course the visionary for that movie is extremely awesome. Now, can it be shit? Of course it can be shit. I mean, look at what's it called, that stupid movie, John Carter of Mars. It can be.
That movie was stupid. I saw it in 3D, by the way.
Yes, I mean it can be the next Avatar, which visionary is great, but a cheap story, or it can be just literally shit like John Carter of Mars. That's my number 10. Let's move on. Number 9.
Number 9. For me, number 9 is going to probably be... I'm going to have to go with Tomb Raider. No, for real.
This guy.
One, I grew up with the video games, starting with PlayStation. I fucking love that game a lot. Two, I did watch... I did keep up with the Tomb Raider games. One, I absolutely loved them. Two, the one Tomb Raider Lara Croft with Angelina Jolie. I was probably like 9, I want to say.
He was probably masturbating.
And I remember that part with the boob, the side boob. This was my favorite part. I was like 9 years old probably.
It's probably like the best part.
But I do want to say that movie was good at the time. I haven't seen it recently, but I have seen it multiple times. Like when I was younger. I mean, there's a side boob on there, you know. So I did like that movie. So I am looking forward to the new one because it's like they're making it so many years later. Like, of course, to me, it's like they can only improve, you know.
That's true. Of course, my number 9. Before I do my number 9, I want to give an honorable mention to Mission Impossible 6, and that this year is the year of the sequels. I know I should have said that earlier, but
of this upcoming year.
Yes, this upcoming year is the year. There's a lot of sequels and a lot of comic book movies. But my honorable mention to Tom Cruise with his Mission Impossible 6. I'm just over those Mission Impossibles. I do like them. This guy
Wait,
does
is that your 9?
No. I'm just saying an honorable mention because it could have been there. I did switch it at last minute because this movie, I like it. I like part 1. I like the reinvention on it. Creed 2, which is basically the boxing movie. I love boxing. And of course, the way it's going, I love that Sylvester Stallone is taking helm. He's the one who's going to direct it. And anybody who knows when Stallone does it, when he does his direction, he really does it well with him not touching too much on the script. And that's what he did this time around. And of course, they're saying that the Russian guy is coming, his son is going to be the bad guy. I don't know. Who knows? I mean...
So I just want to say something. Right now that you brought boxing, before I forget. I really like Southpaw because I know that's like last, whatever, but Southpaw had boxing in it. It didn't have to be so much, but it was mostly like
drama,
like shooting, like that's my style. Anyways, carry on.
No. I mean, it's a Creed 2 is up there. Again, it's a sequel. So let's get to number 8.
All right, number 8. I'm gonna have to go with. Don't look at my list. Oh,
I'm looking at my list.
I'm gonna have to go with Jurassic World.
Ooh.
Because first of all, I did like Jurassic Park. I did like, I liked all the sequels except my least favorite one was the last one.
Wow.
I don't know. Is it
the girl running in heels?
No, it's probably him being able to control the dinosaurs. It's like, I get it. They're all engineered and they're this and that, but it's like the CGI wasn't top notch for me. It just really wasn't.
Good.
No, it just wasn't.
Good.
I've seen better CGI movies than that, and I get it. Some CGIs are hard to make, like dinosaurs. We've never lived with them, but I'm just saying, like, I am looking forward to this new one because the end of the world is coming for both. Both human and dinosaurs. So it's like I'm gonna watch it because of the storyline, not necessarily because I'm judging it too hard based off the CGI, which I didn't like last movie.
It kind of makes sense. And then Chris Pratt can be kind of a dull. Anyways, my number 8.
Stick to the Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Pratt.
My number 8. Steven Spielberg returning with Ready Player One. Now, the trailer for me is hooking me just because, come on, Freddy Krueger? The Back to the Future? God, man, I mean, not only that, but what I told you earlier, when the directors kick ass, Steven Spielberg directing again, and he's going to sci-fi element. And then, of course, the kid, I forgot the kid's name. Ty Sheridan, that's his name. The kid's really good. He was the Cyclops in the X-Men movies.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in the Scouts, zombie for the Scouts Apocalypse or whatever. I really like this kid.
He's young, too.
Yeah, he's young. And he can act. He can really bring charisma into it.
He can bring, I like his, just like drama feel that he has. Like, I like that a lot.
Yes, he's good. He's good. I really do like this kid. And with Steven Spielberg at helm, you're gonna get a great movie. Again, he can do a shitty movie like AI, but that's just me. For me, I think he has more pros than cons. For Ready Player One, that's another original movie, or I think it's an adaptation. Who knows?
First of all, this guy was judging my list, but I'm looking at my list and I think I'm pretty comfortable with my list.
Actually, they don't sound that bad.
I really do like my list. This fool was talking shit earlier.
It probably was.
Anyways, my number 7. My number 7 is going to be Insidious: The Last Key. Ooh. I have to put a horror movie in there because, one, I absolutely love horror movies. I judge them really bad all the time. But I didn't really like Insidious 2, maybe Insidious 3, but I did like the first one. And looking at the trailer for this new one, it just looks different. Like, I feel like there's a new vibe to it. So
It is a different director as well, right? It's not James Wan anymore.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think it's not James Wan anymore because James Wan did retire from the horror genre. I do like when directors try to step into another direction because sometimes it works, but the guy is a legend for horror. He did really great movies with The Conjuring and Insidious.
Conjuring was good too.
And of course, I would have to give an honorable mention. I was gonna put it on my list, but there's other movies that I want to look more forward into seeing it. And of course,
You were gonna put Insidious?
I was gonna put Insidious, but I was like, I'm sorry, there's another horror movie that I want better. And my number 7 is not a horror movie yet, but it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in Rampage. Hell yeah!
See, that one didn't even make it my list.
Okay, whatever. He doesn't have little kids, so he has to be like,
look.
my kids are excited. I'm excited. A big giant gorilla, a big giant lizard, a big giant wolf. You got The Rock. You got Joe Manganiello. You got Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And I forgot who was the fourth one. And I was like, oh, that's a good cast. But, I mean, I think it's going to be a popcorn flick. And that's what you want at the end. You do want to enjoy a popcorn movie. Or it just can be a guilty pleasure where you know it's bad, but you enjoy it. And you just know that it's a bad movie.
I think if I watch it in the movie theaters, it's because I'm high as fuck. I don't even smoke weed. I'm just saying.
He's probably gonna watch Super Troopers because they do come out the same way.
I would rather put Super Troopers on there than Rampage.
Ooh.
Not because I'm hating on The Rock or anybody. I just feel like it's all over the place. It to me, it just, I don't know, like it's just too distracting. I'm not really into that much.
I mean, my kids want to see it.
My list is a little bit more neutralized.
I mean, I was, instead of Rampage, I was gonna put another sequel. Well, Rampage is not a sequel, but another honorable mention, Pacific Rim. I was gonna say Pacific Rim Job. Pacific Rim Part 2. But I don't know what. There's something about Rampage that is really bringing me in. I did play the game when I was little. I loved the game.
I did too.
My kids want to see this because of the monsters. But that's my number 7.
This is a Netflix movie to me. I would watch it on Netflix, but I wouldn't watch it at the theaters. That's what I'm saying.
I would probably watch it at, those movies that on matinee price for $5.99 a ticket. I mean, it's a popcorn movie, and that's what they're aiming for. The Rock knows what he wants, and The Rock just knows what he's gonna get. So let's get to number 6.
Number 6 to me is gonna be, I'm gonna go with Death Wish.
Oh no, you just
why?
Come on, Bruce Willis is not even acting anymore.
I get that, but one, I haven't seen Bruce Willis in a while. 2, it's like it's got that thing that can happen. Like going back to my list earlier, it's like I like to see things that can happen in real life. Like this can actually become a movie. Like I don't know. I don't know how to.
You want to watch that when we go watch Death Wish with Charles Bronson?
Nah, yeah. I'm gonna watch it with Bruce Willis. Alright, so Death Wish reminds me of Hostage, even though it's not the same movie, but it just reminds me of Hostage. And I really liked how Bruce Willis played in Hostage. That's probably why I want to see it, is because it reminds me of Hostage. I really liked the movie Hostage.
He did really like Hostage. I saw Hostage because of him, back like in 2005. Now I want to get into a quick detail before me jumping into my number 6. I don't appreciate remakes unless they need them, or unless it's better quality. I do approve of them. Death Wish to me is in my special heart because of Charles Bronson, who passed away, and Paul Kersey with him was such a motherfucking badass. Now that's one. I mean, if you want to choose a remake, go with the new remake that they're going to do from Scarface. Yes, the Al Pacino's getting a remake, and it's going to be Diego Luna, which I love that Mexican actor, and it's going to be about the Mexican cartel with Ethan and Joel Coen, which are great director-writers. Now, going back to Death Wish, you got Bruce Willis, who stopped caring about acting for the past 10 years. You have Eli Roth, who directed Hostage, and not Hostage, I'm sorry. He directed Hostel, and yeah, that's Paul Kersey, yes.
Charles Bronson.
Yeah, this is Charles Bronson, ladies and gentlemen. That's Charles freaking Bronson. Mondam. It's a cologne that he invented, and the tagline for that was, if you're not gay before, you're gay now. See, that's before all this people are liberals and all that. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. What I want to get into is Eli Roth, who directed Hostel and who directed Cabin Fever, where I think it's his only 2 good movies that he has. Other than that, that guy is a piece of shit director. The only thing that this movie has going for is Joe Carnahan, the guy who directed and wrote Smokin' Aces, The Grey, and The A-Team. I think that's the only good thing that Narc, all this. The guy has a good list of movies. The A-Team being his worst. That's the only thing that he is coming from. But he did write it, so maybe if Bruce Willis brings his A game, maybe Death Wish can be okay.
So before we get to our number 5, I just want to. Oh, my bad. To his number 6, I just want to like give a shout out. I know it's not going to the theaters, but I think in place of this would have been Bright with
Will Smith.
Will Smith. Just because it's going on Netflix. That's
not
why
only that, but you can because it's a December 22nd movie.
That's true.
That's in 2017.
That's true. That's true.
My number 6 after Did, which was like my number 6 gets a great mention because hopefully it will be great directed. The Nun, which is
That okay, yeah.
which is a more prequel to Annabelle, which I'm gonna get into Annabelle before I get into The Nun. There's a special scene where I know that something happened in Annabelle Part 2, which is a prequel, where the nun says, "Oh, who's that in the back?" Where the guy says like, "Oh, I don't know, I never knew she was there." But in Spanish, the nun keeps saying, the good nun, to the demon, she's like, "Oh, Dios, te lo suplico, por favor, perdóname," which in Spanish is, "Please God help me, I'm sorry. Forgive me." I'm like, in a way, why would a nun say that if they're pure heart? And that's why I think this movie's gonna be freaking kick-ass.
That has a connection right there.
Yeah, and if you pay attention to the Annabelle, the prequel, when she's getting pushed into the barn, you can see a full nun behind her, meaning that that's the freaking nun. Which it goes back, I mean, that's another multi-universe movie, which is another cinematic universe. Anyways, I'm excited for this Nun. I will check it out. My wife loves horror movies, and I love to hug her when she's scaring because I'm the one jumping.